So, welcome to the week 6 live lecture. And we've made it to the last week of the class. And so it has really been my honor to guide you through the concepts in this class. And so our objectives this week, we're going to talk about motivators and influencers and really the consumer purchase decision process. The stages of the buying process, customer satisfaction versus customer loyalty, and sales and marketing, its role in an organization is discussed in the learning content, although it is not a part of the week 6 assignment. We do have several different chapters this week to read, chapters 5, 7, those sections in chapter 12. And with the week 6 assignment, now that you have had your product and you've gone through the 4 Ps, we're going to look at consumer behavior. And so the first item, bulleted item, is to describe why businesses study consumer behavior. And I just want to ask you all, why do you think businesses study consumer behavior?
This is Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. It's really important to know what your consumers, how they react to the products and how they're going to be reacting to your offerings. So the behavior and the ways that they incorporate their actions and motions with the product is valuable information.
It is. Did you want to add anything else, Jason?
He covered that pretty well.
Okay, I think so too. Consumer behavior is rooted in psychology. And so companies and marketers, this is just my own personal summation. It's not directly out of the book, although the book does talk about consumer behavior. The main goal for companies is to sell their products and services. And so with an understanding of what will cause someone to purchase your product or service, the more understanding that you have about that, the more that you can sell. And so the main goal in business is to make money. And so knowing consumer behavior allows you to fulfill that objective. All right, so in the book, in section 7.1, there's the discussion there regarding consumer purchasing behavior. So you do have, from the chapter readings, some information to be able to answer that first bullet. The second bullet is using one past major purchase you have been involved in. Describe the process using the 5 stages that a person goes through in the buying process. And so you have the purchase decision process that is illustrated on 7.2, and it starts with the need to solve an issue or some type of recognized desire. Then you may search for different products out there, just some informational searches about the product, where you're motivated to find out more. The individual pays attention to information about relevant marketing messages, developing purchase criteria that reflect his or her expectation and beliefs. Then you start looking at the different comparisons of the products out there. Newly armed with information, the individual develops a consideration set made up of acceptable alternatives. You may even look at some user reviews during these two phases. And then you have your purchase decision, where once you've done your information search, you looked at competing products out there, maybe looked at some of the prices, then you've considered all the alternatives, then you make your decision. And then the last step is the post-purchase behavior. And that's where you either experience satisfaction or dissatisfaction. And there's an interesting concept in the post-purchase behavior stage called cognitive dissonance. So that's a good one to take a look at and learn that particular concept. But those are the 5 steps of the purchase decision process. And so you're going to be using a past major purchase to articulate those 5 steps and express what you went through in your purchasing decision process. The next bullet is explain how the degree of involvement impacts the purchase process decision, and include what your degree of involvement was for the purchase, for the product that you had in the previous step. And so there's a whole section, I think this is chapter 10. I cut off the particular chapter section, but there's a whole section on degree of involvement and how you may spend less time in making a choice when there's a convenience product, when you have those products by the cash register, those are impulse products, and those products there, you don't spend a whole lot of time doing an informational search or researching the alternatives. It may be some type of convenience product, and so your degree of involvement for that particular product would be lesser than your degree of involvement with the washer and dryer, where, if you're spending $700, $800 for each item, then you're really going to look at and be involved in that entire purchase process. So I would encourage you to read in the chapter about what degree of involvement means and apply it to the purchase that you've used in the previous bullet. Then the next couple of bullets have to do with customer loyalty versus customer satisfaction. And so if I'm not mistaken, didn't we have a discussion question about that? Did we have?
We had one that was comparing and contrasting. I'm not sure if it was loyalty or customer satisfaction though.
Okay. Maybe I'm getting a little bit mixed up there, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory in terms of being able to research customer loyalty and customer satisfaction and being able to compare and contrast them. It's pretty self-explanatory there. And that is really it in terms of how to navigate through the week 6 assignment. What I went through was the actual assignment itself, and here's the rubric, and it pretty much follows what we just discussed. Are there any questions?
No, I don't think so. I just did look though. The compare and contrast was for outsourcing and offshoring.
Oh, okay. So you haven't discussed customer loyalty and how it differs from customer satisfaction. So how would you define customer loyalty?
I would define it as someone that purchases a product and for whatever reason likes the product, likes the service, likes the company, continues to go back and purchase their products based on the experiences they've had.
Right. And so if there is like a certain brand or a certain product that I know I really like, how would that differ from me having a satisfaction about the product? Or would it differ? That's what you want to discuss. Any thoughts about that?
Customer satisfaction you could buy a product one time with a particular supplier or company and like that product, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to keep going back to buy that product.
Exactly. You know, there's I just thought of one product that people typically have loyalty to, and that is for your car, a certain type of car. You know, some people only buy Hondas. Some people only buy GM. And so, you know, how would that type of buying behavior, I think you hit the nail on the head there, but how would that buying behavior differ from just describing your satisfaction for a product? So that's what you want to discuss for that particular bullet. All right. Any other thoughts before we end?
I had one question about the due date for the last assignment.
Uh-huh.
I know that the weeks now are 5.5 weeks, or they have been changed to 5.5 weeks. So what is the due date for this week?
You know, I have it as Friday, but that's me assuming that my final grades are going to be due like Monday or Tuesday. And you raised a good point about 5.5 weeks. I don't know how that adjusts in terms of when my final grades are due. I tell you what, I will confirm that with my dean, and if the final grades are due on Monday, well, then I'm going to stick to the Friday date because I just need time to grade everything. But
Okay.
if I find out that I have a little bit more time, I may be able to relax that date. So what I will do is endeavor to find out the answer for you guys tomorrow. I'll send a notice out tomorrow. If the Friday due date is firm or if we can relax it to like Sunday. But so that's really the contingency for me is just having enough time, because typically in the past the final grades have been due so quickly that it causes some issues. So I'll let you all know tomorrow for sure. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Tim, just kind of a heads up. I actually emailed a professor about this, and I went to my counselor about it, and she's basically saying that Friday's the date because of the 5.5 weeks, and they pulled the due dates in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can check, but I'm just, you know, for anyone that listens to this, or you, Tim,
Yeah.
I would plan on Friday because I actually sent a note to her about my displeasure regarding that, and she called me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right.
I know in the past, when I've taught classes here, you know, that's been the case. So I appreciate you pointing that out, Jason, to set everybody's expectation, you know, and if there was any way that I could change that, I would. But hey, when they have final grades being due, you know, like that Monday, you know, I'm doing everything I can just to keep my head above water. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the class. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I learned a number of different ways of, you know, sales has never been my favorite thing. I've always been more in line with production, but you know, learning the sales aspect of things has been interesting, and that was fun.
Good, good. Well, it's a lot being packed into the 5.5 weeks, but I think we've covered some of the major points that if you should ever want to start your own business or whatever, that you'll have a good set of tools to be able to do so.
It definitely gives you that. It also gives you an aspect of, or a perception of, what companies are doing when they're trying to send their, the sales pitch to you.
Yeah, so now you look at things in a different way because now you know what they're doing.
I did. I was listening to the radio this morning on the way to work, and listening to the different commercials that were coming on during talk shows, and it's, you just listen to how they're pitching, and you really start to put the concepts. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So with that, thank you guys for participating tonight. It's really been a pleasure to be your instructor, and y'all take care.
You too.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.